sadly not something we're unfamiliar with these days, right? Remember the huge quotes around morality or morality clauses. I'd love to talk about that, but also want to use this occasion to flag two of your other great collaborations. First with Ed Lockman, incredible cinematographer, and obviously with Kate, who in this scene manages to performing, tell the truth and a lie with her eyes at the same moment, right? And we know she knows because of her eyes, but she's able to speak her performance of maintaining the facade of the woman she wants to project into the world. It's just miraculous, truly. I mean, what you and she achieved there. So you can take it however you like, but those are, the three things that have really came together for me in this.
It's an unexpected clip from Carol, although the themes that you're bringing up are so interesting. To me, Carol was my first attempt to really examine the love story in a movie and try to understand how great love stories operate. So it was so much more, it was so much to me about looking and, who is the desiring half, who is the more amorous part of the love story, and who is the more vulnerable, and who is in the powerful position of being desired. Through most of Carol, because it's really the story of Rooney Mara's character, Therese, and Carol as the object of her desire, and Therese as an aspiring photographer. So a lot of the film is about her looking and framing, and it's the first script of mine that I didn't write that came to me as an adaptation of the Patricia Highsmith novel, The Price of Salt. The Price of Salt is the only book that Patricia Highsmith wrote outside of the crime genre, and the most autobiographical novel of her career. And yet, the first person narrator that is so important to her detective stories, like Talented Mr. Ripley and Double Indemnity, is that she makes the parallel between the only crime in Carol is falling in love with another woman in the 50s. But the first person narrator is engaged in the same kind of hyper activity that the criminal mind is engaged in when you are culpable of a crime. In constantly creating scenarios of outcomes that will keep you innocent. So and what's so beautiful about Price of Salt, and what I try to bring to Carol, is the way that power dynamic changes as it does in relationships. And by the end, it's Carol who's the more vulnerable, desiring half of the love relationship, and Therese who's the object of desire. And so we parallel that same scene in the hotel lobby from two sides and repeat it at the end. And so you understand what that whole scene meant, but you also come full circle in the sort of power relationship in love. But absolutely, this is about characters who I'm always drawn to who are not exceptional. She's exceptionally beautiful, and she has exceptional privilege in who she married and how she lives. But both she and Therese are just trying to figure out how to get through this terrifying miracle of falling in love, and what to do about it, and what the sacrifices that Carol will ultimately have to make to maintain her integrity as a herself as a lesbian. But they are not going to change the world. They're not going to change the system. You're going to watch the system press down on regular people like us, like all of us, and watch us move as best we can under those constraints. And that's what I found so incredibly moving about the subject matter. And then, of course, these two actresses. Now, Kate I had worked with in I'm Not There as one of the film about, that looks at Bob Dylan from all these different points of view and characters. And did this transformative relationship that still is such a stunner in playing Dylan in 66, or playing a character inspired by Dylan in 66, the character named Jude in the movie, when Dylan plugs in electric, and when Dylan is very much using amphetamines, and there's like this crazy androgynous character who's unrecognizable from who he was even a year before in the movie Don't Look Back, the Penny Baker documentary. He is once again, within months, altered his entire physical and creative energies. And here, I get to make Kate the older woman object of desire. And of course, she does it as she does in every performance so indelibly. And, this film has had this remarkable impact on lesbians and film admirers and all that. And it's just, she just got to completely alter every molecular aspect of her being between these two examples of characters she got to play.
As it turned out, our last and next clip is exactly Kate.
Awesome.
I'm Not There.